What's going on, Shady people? Shady Penguin welcome you back to another UCL prep video. We are preparing for our next game, week 8, as your New York Mankeys. Make sure you guys are rocking these tomorrow when you watch the battle. Links in the description if you want to pick one up, or there are mugs and phone cases, whatever. You don't have to do any of that. But if you're excited for the fact that your New York Mankeys are now 4-3, we are finally back. Woo! The only time we were positive this season was week 1, and we are finally back to being positive with our record. So that's kind of exciting. Show some Shady love down below if you're excited for that. But we're going to get into this team building video. We are preparing for our game against the Philadelphia Feraligatrs, coached by PK Sparks. That hotness. One of my favorite human beings, actually, that I've gotten to meet through YouTube. 100%. He's a really happy guy. He's a really good guy, and I love him. But we're going to go toe-to-toe this week. We're going to go toe-to-toe this week in a match that is going to be kind of scary. Really quick, we're going to go over his team, and he has some pretty intense Pokemon for sure. He's got Garchomp, Skarmory, Talonflame, Feraligatr, Snorlax, Mega Sceptile, Steelix, Trevenant, Hitmonchan, Garbodor, Jinx, and Vivian. So that is really, really scary. The Garchomp, Talonflame, and the Skarmory, his OU picks are beautiful in my opinion. Both physical, but Talonflame can't be burned, so really can't cripple that attack in any way, at least not in a standard way, besides like Growl. But Skarmory is one of my biggest fears because I know for a fact that PK is going to run either Spikes or Stealth Rocks on it and then Whirlwind. I know he's going to. It's too good not to, especially on a team that has Mega Pinsir. So I have to get rid of that Skarmory as soon as possible, in which case I have planned for it. But really quick, we'll go over our team as we always do. My team is Landorus, Team Mew, Mega Pinsir, Milotic, Infernape, Blissey, Jolteon, Skuntank, Shiftry, Gramble, Girder, and Regirock. So those are potential teams, potential team members. I have gone ahead and sculpted a team that will hopefully snag us the W. It is going to be tough, though. I really do think it's going to be one of our tougher matchups. Here's the biggest reason why. He's got Garchomp, who's immune to electricity. He's got Sceptile, who once Mega Evolved is immune to electricity. He has Steelix, who's immune to electricity. So that is 3 immunities to one of our most potent Pokemon, Jolteon. So regardless, let's jump over to the team. As you guys can see, this is the team right here that we have, and we're going to go over one by one, starting off with Mayhem the Jolteon. So we have Mayhem the Jolteon holding the Expert Belt with the Volt Absorb ability. Not really, I don't see too much opportunity to take advantage of Volt Absorb. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I see almost no opportunity to take advantage of Volt Absorb. Do we just go Quick Feet? We just go Quick Feet at that point. We just go Quick Feet. I'm going to have to make sure I get a Jolteon with Quick Feet. That's going to be a little tough, but we're going to go ahead and do that. Jolteon with Quick Feet, because I'm looking at it, and there's really no electric stab on his team. There's no one that I can see being like, yes, he's definitely going to run Thunder Wave. And if he is, we're immune to it anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, I think we're going to go Quick Feet. That way, if he does decide to fire off a Toxic, and we have a super fast Jolteon, this Jolteon will outspeed Choice Scarf Garchomp. So that is huge. That is huge. It will also outspeed Mega Sceptile if it gets Toxic. Oh my gosh. I'm almost tempted to run like Flame Orb. What? No. Wait. What? No. Wait. What? No. Wait. All right, so do we want... Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to think about that regardless, because that seems really nice to be able to outspeed Mega Sceptile and to outspeed a Scarfed Garchomp. Oh, wow. That seems like everything I've ever wanted in life. That seems like everything I've ever wanted in life. All right. I think we're going to go Flame Orb. I think this is like the only battle where it makes sense to go Flame Orb. Because I mean, yeah, he has stuff that like Skarmory might Toxic, blah, blah, blah. Like he has options to status me, but instead of relying on that, why not just go Flame Orb? Now, Trevenant is a huge problem for us. I have to admit, it's going to be tough because his Trevenant, if he brings it, it's super bulky, but we do have Mega Pinsir on the team, so we should be fine. But I'm just thinking, as far as the matchups for this guy. That's why I'm running Shadow Ball in here, you guys can see. We have Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, and Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is for the Trevenant. Hidden Power Ice does a good amount to the Steelix and to... it does a good amount to the Steelix. Obviously, it hits the Garchomp like crazy, hits the Sceptile like crazy. I almost want to run Protect now, because if I open up Jolteon, he opens up Garchomp, and I can go Protect. I am expecting PK to use berries, though. I'm expecting a Yachi Berry on Garchomp. I believe that's the berry that reduces Ice-type damage. I'm expecting it, but... Anyway, this is our Jolteon. I'm not too positive about Flame Orb. I think it'll be really nice. I think Flame Orb is the best option. I think it's better than going with Toxic Orb. Toxic Orb is less, I think, the first time, maybe even this first 2 times. I'll figure it out. I'm either gonna go Flame Orb or Toxic Orb, but Toxic does rack up, whereas Flame does not. But if I want to stay in with this thing, I think eventually Flame Orb is better if I'm going to be staying in. But for me, Volt Switching a lot, then Toxic Orb is better. So do I think I'm going to be Volt Switching a lot? With the possibility of Garchomp, Steelix, and Mega Sceptile, I'm not going to be Volt Switching a lot. So we're going to go Flame Orb. Okay, our next Pokemon is pretty much our win con. Once the physical wall goes down of either Steelix or Skarmory, or if it brings both. Those are the 2 Pokemon that stand in the way of Mega Pinsir the Savage from sweeping. English is not my first language. So we have Savage holding the Pinsir right, obviously, with the Moxie ability, just in case we can take advantage of it. I don't see a reason to run Mold Breaker. I'm never going to be able to take out a Skarmory, so there's no point in trying to get rid of that Sturdy. But we have Swords Dance, Feint, Return, and Close Combat. Now, Feint is here for a very specific reason. It is a +2 priority normal type move, so it's faster than Quick Attack. It is weaker than Quick Attack by 10 base points. But after a Swords Dance, a Feint 1-hit KOs a Talonflame that had taken Stealth Rock damage. So, very important that we get our Stealth Rocks up. Very important that we keep them up, because I feel like PK's check for Pinsir is his Talonflame. Mega Sceptile doesn't really want to work on me at all. It really doesn't. I mean, it's faster, it can one-shot me, but I have Feint. So as long as Mega Sceptile is below, I believe it's 60 HP, I don't even need a Swords Dance to KO him with Feint. Pretty positive. Actually, we'll check that right now for you guys, so I don't sound like a fool of a took. Feint does 80% without Swords Dance. So, as Swords Dance, obviously Feint one-shots. So, it's really, really, really simple to get around Mega Sceptile. If it sets up a sub, we're in trouble, but we're not going to let him do that. And of course, our last two moves are Return and Close Combat. Didn't really see the need to go Earthquake this time around. Close Combat's there because Curse Snorlax could be a very real problem. Although, if we set up a Swords Dance and he sets up a Curse, I'm pretty sure that makes us where we're fine at that point. Let's see. If he has +1 defense, Close Combat still OHKOs. If we're at +2. If we're both at neutral, I believe he actually lives the Close Combat. He does live the Close Combat, just barely. 68% chance to KO after Stealth Rocks, depending on his investment. So, we would really just want to go for Swords Dance. Self-Destruct doesn't even one-shot us. Rock Slide from Snorlax does a lot of damage. So, if rocks are up, we cannot stay in on a potential Rock Slide from Snorlax. And I think PK will run the Rock Slide, considering it's right here. But then again, it depends if he runs Curselax. I had a lot of fun with Curselax at my stream on Monday. So, hopefully he doesn't run Curselax. Okay, so here we are. Here we are with this Pinsir. I think it's pretty good. It one-shots Hitmonchan, one-shots Trevenant. It can do work. Return does a lot against Garbodor, one-shots Vivian. It's really just the Steelix and the Skarmory that this thing can't handle. It doesn't appreciate Garchomp, especially if it's Scarf Chomp, but I'll be fine. If we can find out that he has Scarf Chomp and I can switch out into Toph, and you'll see later my Toph is Choice Scarf this week, that'll be fine. We expect a, well, we wouldn't switch into Toph. Well, we might, because we Intimidate and take a Rock Slide. That's totally fine. And then we can U-turn out, because he's not going to keep going for Rock Slide. At the same token, Sakura's also switching. But I made a team this week that can handle any 12 Mons. And so a lot of you guys said to do is what Joey does. And that's what I honestly normally do. But I also like to speak about which Mons specifically counter the ones. I'm not making it just for one. Like Pinsir, Mega Pinsir shuts down like half of PK's team. Sceptile, Trevenant, Hitmonchan, Vivian, and then Talonflame with Feint after Stealth Rock. So I'm really excited to use Feint on Talonflame. I want to see that happen. Hopefully it does. But yes, you can see the spread, by the way. Max HP, 236 speed, 20 HP. This is enough speed to outspeed a, I believe it's to outspeed a Jolly Garchomp. Let me just make sure. I believe it's enough speed to outspeed a Jolly Garchomp. Yes, Jolly Garchomp maxes out at 169. This is 170. So as long as he's not scarfed, I can outspeed him and hit him with a Return, and a Return does 87% to a Garchomp. So that's really nice. If we have to do that, we will do it. But that is our Pinsir. By the way, Mayhem, max speed, max special attack. I'm running Modest this week. I'm 100% running Modest because I have the Flame Orb now. I have the Quick Feet. So the Quick Feet, 1.5 increase. At that point, I could probably get away with running even less speed, which I think I should, because we can dump that into defense, or actually special defense. Yeah, I think we can dump that into special defense. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how much speed. I'm sorry for doing this, guys. I really did not consider it quick feed at all. Sceptile is PK's fastest Pokemon. So we need to make sure our speed is, oh gosh. Well, hold on, no. Let's do this. Let's do PK's fastest possible Choice Scarfer. Now, I don't think he'll Choice Scarf Talonflame, so I am going to ignore that. His fastest Choice Scarfer is Garchomp, which we know caps out at 169. So 169 times 1.5 is 253. Well, that means that we just have to get to 161. Doesn't that just mean that we have to get to 170? All right, so do we think there's any chance of him Choice Scarfing Talonflame? No, there's not. Okay, so we're gonna do 160 and we are going to see if we do this. Okay, 88, we have 4 remaining. We'll put the 4 in special defense. I don't wanna do it into HP because we have Flame Orb, so if we increase our HP, I believe it's gonna increase the percentage that's taken away. So we're gonna keep our HP as that odd number and as low as possible. So we have a nice little buff into, actually, you know, we're gonna put this all in special defense. I'm sorry. We're gonna put this into special defense. Because ideally the only hit we're gonna have to take is on the special side from like a Sceptile. That would be like our worst matchup there. Maybe even from a Trevenant. So maybe we should go regular defense. No, we're gonna go special defense. Realistically, if he hits me with a physical move, we're kind of done. Then again, does Jolteon have any chance of living an Aqua Jet from a Feraligator? Let's see. If he does decide to go Aqua Jet, Jolteon can take it just fine. Never mind. Jolteon takes 53%. If he's at +1, does 80%. Maybe we should. I feel like that's a scenario that could happen. Oh, special defense or defense. Let's look at Sceptile really quick. I mean, Leaf Storm OHKOs. If he goes for Leaf Storm, Giga Drain, Dragon Pulse does not OHKO. Jolteon can surprisingly take hits. I never expect that, but he could take hits. We're gonna go ahead and go with a little bit of each. How about that? Okay, so 40 brings us to 85, so let's keep it at 40. And we have an extra 4. There we go. Okay, we're gonna do like that. Really weird spread, but it's basically because we don't need that extra speed, so we're gonna throw it into our defenses just so we can kind of take hits on either side. Obviously no super effective hits. We're never taking a super effective hit. We're super frail, but we know that we can take an Aqua Jet. We cannot take like a Waterfall. There's no chance of taking a Waterfall. Actually, from Fall, there is a chance of taking a Waterfall, but it's not worth the risk at all. Okay, so that's gonna be our Jolteon. I'm sorry about that. We're gonna go back to our Infernape now, or we're gonna go to our Infernape now. This is Lonely the Infernape, as always. Nice and lonely ape. Lonely the Infernape here. Rocking the Expert Belt with Iron Fist. He's got U-Turn, Mach Punch, Overheat, and Close Combat. So not a Choice Scarf user this week, but he is with U-Turn. I was tempted to go Fake Out. I was really tempted to go Fake Out, but he does have the Trevenant. And I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's a Trevenant because we could just go for Overheat the following turn. So it really would be fine. But Fake Out didn't seem wise when he's got the Garchomp also to switch in. He could be running Rocky Helmet, Rough Skin, Garchomp, and I don't want to waste a Fake Out on that, so I'd much rather just go for U-Turn, take that damage there and not really go for, you know, a Fake Out. It just doesn't seem like it'd be worth it. Maybe I'll regret it. Who knows? We'll find out during the battle. But we do have our Fast 8, Max Attack, Max Speed, Naive Nature, so the Overheat does not get reduced. Overheat is there for the Skarmory and the Steelix and the Trevenant. Those are the biggest reasons why it's there. Close Combat can hit the Sceptile just fine, although it stinks because Sceptile does have less special defense, so Overheat might actually be the better option against Sceptile. I'm gonna find out for you guys right now and for myself, so when I do have this battle, supposed to be having this battle later today. Looks like Close Combat's still the right choice. Looks like it's still the right choice. That's because that's Jolly. Well, it's the same thing. Okay, so still the right choice to go for Close Combat against Sceptile. Sceptile's really frail. If it's not behind a sub, it's really frail. So I feel like PK is going to want to set up a sub. I could see him switching in the Sceptile on the Sakura and going for a substitute. I feel like that's definitely going to happen, and it's going to force me, unfortunately, to go ahead and stay in and go for an Ice Beam. If he does go for the Giga Drain instead, it doesn't one-shot my Milotic, but we'll get there when we get there. That's if it's at full HP. So it's going to be a tough battle for sure. The Mega Sceptile is really scary. Not being able to just... I originally had Thunder Wave in this thing on my Mayhem, but he has so many immunities to it. he has the, it's ridiculous. He's got the Mega Sceptile, he's got the Garchomp, he's got the Steelix. Realistically, Trevenant is also, could be immune to it. So I have to watch out if he brings Jinx. I think I'd have dry skin, so that's always a problem. Anyway, that's our Ape. It's really gonna put it in work. I feel like it's got good switch initiative. It's got priority in Mach Punch, which hits the Snorlax for super effective damage. It's another reason why I wanted to bring Lonely, because Lonely takes care of Snorlax. It hits Sceptile really hard. It goes ahead and it outspeeds Feraligator before Dragon Dance. It can take one Aqua Jet. And it can do a lot of work against a lot of PK's Mons for sure. So that's gonna be our Lonely. Our next Pokemon is our Rufus, and it's a Pokemon that I don't really want to bring. I guess that's what I wanna say. Not that I don't wanna bring it, but I wanted to bring a different set. I wanted to bring a sweeping set. I really wanna sweep with Mew. But there was a couple of really funky moves I was gonna run because it seemed like they would work perfect against PK's team, but we're not gonna do that. Because like I said, I really think he's gonna end up going Hazard's Whirlwind with Skarmory. I really do, and we have to take Skarmory out as soon as possible, What's really good for me about switching to Quick Feet is that even though I reveal my items super early, if I open up Skarmory and I really think he's gonna switch into the Garchomp, I just go, it's tough. I feel like I might go HP Ice right there. It depends how much HP Ice does to a Skarmory, because it is neutral. HP Ice looks like it does not. It does 30%. I mean, it puts him in range for Thunderbolt to KO the next turn. So it would be awesome if it was a 2-hit KO, but that's clearly not going to happen. But if I open up Mayhem, he opens up Skarmory. If I go for Thunderbolt and he doesn't switch out, he loses. So he has to switch out. No. Yes. He has to switch out. Turn 1 prediction? I don't know. I might just go for Thunderbolt. Because what I was going to say is that even if he switches into a Choice Scarf Garchomp, then we just go for HP Ice and it doesn't one-shot, so we can't do that. Shoot, I might go HP Ice then. I might just go HP Ice turn 1 and have Garchomp come in. I mean, that's not worth the risk, because that's not worth the risk. I just go Thunderbolt and then switch out to Toph if he goes into the Garchomp, it's fine. And if that's his Stealth Rock user, good, he got me good. But anyway, this is to get rid of the hazard so the whirlwinding does not happen. We have Defog, we've set up our own Stealth Rocks, which is why it's such a good defogger, because it can get rid of all the hazards and set up its own again. I'm running Roar as well, and Ice Beam. The biggest reason I'm running Roar is, like I said, Sceptile behind a sub is terrifying. Dragon Tail is on Sakura this week, spoilers, but Roar is necessary. Roar is 100% necessary. I can take one hit from Sceptile just fine. From full, and I can roar it out if it's behind a sub, because that's what I have to do. I can also take a hit and fire off an Ice Beam if I have to. So Ice Beam is here because it's super effective on Garchomp, super effective on Skarmory. Is it super effective on Skarmory? I feel like it is. Otherwise, that HP Ice wouldn't do as much. It would not do 30%. You're definitely weak to Ice. You're not weak to Ice because you're part Steel. You fool of a took. I'm a fool of a took. So it's not super effective on Skarmory, but it's super effective on the Garchomp, on the Sceptile, on the Trevenant, and I believe on the Vivian. So it's there. Rufus is basically here to set up hazards and then phase out, the same way that I think PK is going to do. I really want to fight fire with fire. I would be the faster phaser, which is the biggest reason why I'm doing it, because if he goes for Whirlwind and I go for Roar, I'm going to roar him out before he Whirlwinds me. So biggest reason why I'm running it. Whereas I think that, I mean, Sakura outspeeds Skarmory if Skarmory's not invested in speed, but who knows what PK is going to do. So I'd rather just go with this. I know that I outspeed. Skarmory has to invest way too much to outspeed 120 Mew. But this is our set. I know it's really weird not to run Stab, but I'm okay with it. Hitmonchan is the only thing that I'd really want to hit for super effective damage with the Psychic type, so I'm not really too disappointed by not going for it. And I think Roar is it'll be really useful, just like Dragon Tail was last week. Speaking of Dragon Tails, let's go over to Sakura here, who is running the same exact set as last week. We have the leftovers, Marvel Scale, Recover, Scald, Ice Beam, Dragon Tails. So this is a status eater right here, as well as Mayhem. I don't mind Sakura eating statuses. Max defense. By the way, Rufus is also a physical wall. The reason why Rufus is a physical wall is because he's got the Talonflame, he's got the Garchomp. I could take a hit from Mega Sceptile regardless, so it's not really a big deal, and I can one-shot it with Ice Beam. He's got the Snorlax, which I feel like I'm going to have to take a hit and roar him out if he wants to run Curselax. That's another reason. He's got the Feraligator, which you just want to roar him out and get rid of any Dragon Dances or Stealth Rocking hazards. Well, then again, if he's got a Dragon Dance up and he's running Crunch, he's going to one-shot my Rufus probably, so that's a problem. But Roar is really good. Physically defensive seems best against his team. He doesn't have too many special threats besides the Sceptile. Sceptile seems to be his biggest special threat. Jinx and Vivian are there, but I don't consider them too big of a threat. And Garchomp could of course be mixed, which could be a problem. But We have Sakura here, physically defensive as well, with 4 in special attack, 4 in special defense, and 248 in HP. We're here with Recover Scald, Ice Beam, Dragon Tail. Once again, phasing I think is going to be really important. Recovering is always important. Burns from Scald is nice, and Ice Beam is here for the Mega Sceptile, for the Trevenant, for those bad matchups, and to times 4 to smack Garchomp right in the face and one-shot him. This is literally the Garchomp check. I come in, I go for the Ice Beam, or I go for the Dragon Tail, predicting a switch. PK has no fairy types, which is why Dragon Tail is going to be super incredible in this matchup. I don't believe Joey had any fairy types at his disposal either, so it was another reason why I think I went with Dragon Tail. I can't remember. I cannot remember, but Garchomp's there, I can always just go for Dragon Tail. He's gonna switch out. If my rocks drop, that's residual damage. If we switch him into the Talonflame, it is GG, no re, because either he switches out, takes more Stealth Rock damage, or he goes for Brave Bird and I just recover up. Or I go for Scald, even better. But we'll see, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I think Sakura's gonna be really useful this week. Sceptile, of course, scares me a lot. Like I was gonna say before though, even though I'm not specially defensive, Sceptile cannot one-shot me. Unless it goes for Leaf Storm. If he goes for Leaf Storm, but I really feel like PK will be running sub Giga Drain. I really think so. So I'm fine with that, because I'm expecting at some point Sakura to be there. He switches into Sceptile. I go for Ice Beam. He can't switch into Sceptile from the Garchomp because the Ice Beam is way too real. I can see him going out into the Feraligator, but that's exactly why I just Dragon Tail. It's exactly why I just Dragon Tail. I'm nervous, guys. I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. It is definitely gonna be a scary time. So, that's our Milotic. Can live a Giga Drain, fire off an Ice Beam, and one-shot the Mega Sceptile easily. If it's regular Sceptile, Ice Beam will only do 64%, so I could see him holding back, but at the same time, I will win that trade because his Giga Drain does not max out at that point. Well, actually, no, because then he would go ahead and he would Mega Evolve and do more with his Giga Drain. So I'd have to be careful of that situation. I'd have to switch out into something that can take a Giga Drain, which really there's nothing on my team that wants to. I know Jolteon can, and if I switch in and get the Quick Feet, I should be fine. So that'll probably be the plan. Let's see how much Jolteon takes from a Giga Drain. Giga Drain does 50%. That's a lot. That's a lot for Jolteon to take, but we might have to do it. Our last Pokemon is our Choice Scarf Toph, which honestly, now that I'm looking at it, let's check you out, Landorus, right now. I kind of wish I would run the Assault Vest version. I think it'd be nice. I think PK might just go with a straight up, I'm firing off Leaf Storms. He could just go, I'm firing off Leaf Storms. Jolteon really is the ultimate check for his team though. With Quick Feet, outspeeding everything except for priority in Talonflame and Feraligator. I resist Talonflame's priority. The Steelix is the only problem for Mayhem. Steelix is the only problem for Mayhem. So for that, we have Sakura. But this is our Toph, who's got the Choice Scarf, Intimidate, U-Turn, Earthquake, Knock Off, and Superpower. I say that the reason why I kind of want to run the Assault Vest is so that I can take a hit from the Sceptile, but Choice Scarf allows me to outspeed it with my 168 speed, max attack, and 88 HP. So I do outspeed it at that point. I go to 145. I believe Sceptile is obviously nowhere near 140. I mean, after Choice Scarf, I'm nowhere near 145. Why am I running 168 speed, though? What was the purpose? I know there was a reason to it. I know there was a reason to running 168 and Jolly. I know that when I'm Adamant, I max out at 143. And for some reason that was bad. For some reason I needed to max out at 145. What was it? Was it Talonflame? No, it wasn't Talonflame. Was it Feraligator? I feel like it was Feraligator. Yes, a Jolly Feraligator has 143 speed. So after a Dragon Dance, I would not outspeed this thing if I was Adamant max attack. So I had to go Jolly and then take some points out because since Jolly Feraligator maxes out at 143, I went ahead and made sure that even if he has one Dragon Dance up, I can still come in and fire off a huge Earthquake or Superpower. Superpower does 60%, so Feraligator would need to be damaged. Of course, an Ice Punch is going to hurt like a Banshee, but I have to, it would just be in a scenario where I take it out. Your turn also does 35%, which is not bad. If Sakura's still around, I could play games. Intimidate it. There goes your attack. Bop, bop, bop. Go out into Sakura. So definitely have options with that, but that was the reason why. I'm glad I remembered. I apologize for not knowing off the top of my head, not having notes. But this is our team. This is our UCL team. And I really do think that this is going to be one of the toughest weeks. PK also is pretty unpredictable in his plays. Whereas in previous opponents, I felt like I would know that they would make the safe play and I could play on that. So I have to be extra careful this week, not take too many risks and just go for my safe play. But if I get backed into a corner, I have to make plays. I have to go for something. The good news is that if I'm just thinking about every scenario, I think that Mayhem is my lead every time. I had thought that Rufus was my lead, but I think that Mayhem is my lead every time. Without Protect, it stinks, but I think Mayhem, because if he leads Skarmory, that's perfect. If he leads Talonflame, could be better, but I switch out into Toph and I'm fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. All right, I think we're gonna wait. If he brings, I think the PK is gonna bring Garchomp, Skarmory, Talonflame, Feraligator, Sceptile, and probably Snorlax. I think he's gonna bring his top 6. If he doesn't bring Steelix, I'll be happy. Steelix has really high physical defense. It's gonna be tough to break through, although Sakura has fun with it. But I think that he's gonna go Skarmory for phasing with Whirlwind and for the Spikes and Stealth Rock option, because he could run Spikes on his Skarmory and Stealth Rocks on his Garchomp. But that's why Defog is gonna be so important before he starts phasing. Basically, I need to get Rufus in. If I feel before, like a turn early before I think he's gonna phase. If I think he's gonna set up hazards, gotta get him in, get rid of those hazards, and let him phase me out into something else. That's fine, because even if no matter who I go out into at that point, I don't care. I really don't. So if you guys are excited for this week of the UCL, please be sure to show some shady loves at thumbs down below. Your support means absolutely everything. Your New York Yankees are now positive, but can we hold that positive? Or are we gonna go to neutral this week? You're gonna have to come back tomorrow to this channel and to PK's channel to find out how we play and what the score ends up being. I love you so much. I'm gonna get the heck out of here and talk to Delibird about some plays we're gonna be making during that match. Have yourselves a good day, but above all else, keep it shady.